what's up guys, this is Dan from the 4x4 podcast, and today I'm going to install my Vero Telecom ham radio. The model number for this is VR6600 Pro, and we've got some additional goodies here behind me. We've got the APRS setup, so it's got GPS and Bluetooth capability in addition to the dual band radio, the actual important bits here. And it's going into my 1999 Jeep Cherokee, and I've got it in my nicely heated garage. It's warmed up to a balmy, I think 17 degrees outside. Last week it was negative 27, so this feels pretty good. But I'm still here in the garage to do this installation because I'm going to be crawling around, running wires through the firewall and things like that. So let's go ahead and get to work. Alright, so here's my dashboard right now. It's a little bit of a mess. But what we have here is the RAM mount, which I'll use for my cell phone, just between the two arms here, or it's actually large enough to hold a small tablet. So I've used that with the Nexus 7, and it also works with an iPad mini. Up here I've already attached, just so I could get a feel for what it's going to look like. That is the control module for the ham radio. And it just suction cup mounts onto either the dashboard or the windshield, and I may clean up the dashboard and stick it on there, but here I've got my regular stereo, which I basically never use, so I don't know, need to do something about that. Also here we have the GoPro mount, which has actually been holding my Baofeng UV5R handheld. There's a bunch of wires running off of it. I have a 12 volt adapter on it, so it turns on as soon as I turn the Jeep on. Here I've got the antenna wire that runs down and out to the back for a mag mount antenna for now, and then the separate mic going to the radio. So one of the things I'm looking forward to having the VR6600 Pro is I can get rid of a mess of these wires here and to get this cleaned up a little bit. So that'll be nice. Alright, now I've got to pull the dashboard apart and kind of start running wires, and the actual radio, the radio portion of this will go underneath the seat, so that the only thing sticking up here will be the control module, and I have those wires running in behind the dash, so they'll still be poking up, but it should be a much cleaner look than what we have right now. Alright, here we have the actual radio unit, a bracket, a mounting bracket, and then a cooling fan. So the way this goes together is the fan goes here. Make sure you have, if you're installing this one, but just for general reference, make sure the fan is facing with the label up, so that way it's actually moving air the correct direction, and then that gets bolted in, and then we bolt the radio in, and you have some mounting options here, whether you want it at an angle or how you want that, but I'm going to go ahead and put that together now. Alright, we've got this portion all put together, and right here on the top is a speaker. Got mic input, the control output, got that fan in there with a good amount of separation so that it can actually move some air around, and on the side here is actually the little voltage switch thing, so when it senses the temperature gets up to 40 degrees Celsius, which is pretty warm. I'm not going to do math in public, but that's to convert that to Fahrenheit. That's pretty warm. That'll kick the fan on, and it'll move some air around and cool things off. So as discussed on the unboxing video, we've got a fuse on both the negative and the positive terminal on the cables there, but I'm going to add fuses as well near the battery. I might not do that today, but absolutely later on some point, because I don't have the waterproof fuse holders right now, but that's something I will be doing. Again, there's an external speaker. It's kind of hard to see with the light here. but then a line in so that you can actually route a stereo output into this so that it comes out the speaker here as well as the speakers on the back of the head unit, and then also the data input and also the antenna here. It's got just the little shipping cap to keep the antenna connector safe. So there's another look at everything. Let's move on to the next step. So I'm about to terminate the ends on the cables, and it's a little bit hard to see here, but a nice feature to this is that the wires are they have solder already in them. Yeah, this is really, anyways, that makes it a little bit easier to get a really good solid connection as you terminate the ends of the power cables on this radio. Just, that was kind of a nice thing that I noticed. And also a tip, as you're running cables, use the existing holes. There's already a lot of, or probably a couple holes in the firewall of your vehicle with OEM grommets in there. So if you go ahead and route the cables through there, then you don't have to worry about trying to drill through the firewall. You won't worry about what you're going to be getting into on the other side because there's a lot of HVAC controls and electrical stuff back there. So go ahead and use those existing holes and make sure you get good solid connections that are waterproofed. I have heat shrink connections on here, and it actually has an adhesive on the inside, so as you heat it up it fills in all those gaps and gives you a solid waterproof connection. Alright, I have got the radio installed. The control is here on the windshield and the actual radio is underneath the seat. I'll spare you the look underneath the seat. There's cookie crumbs and crackers and everything from kids riding around in the back seat. But the important thing, the radio is installed. So here we go. I've already played with it a little bit, so the reveal isn't as exciting because I've got it all installed here. And behind the dash is the Bluetooth module, all the cords connecting, and the cords, you can see I've cleaned this up a lot. Here we have my Amazon Basics heat seeder that turns on as soon as I turn the Jeep on. And here's my phone charger. But aside from that, we've got everything all set up. So this is pretty exciting. I'll go do a video on the actual controls and going through the settings another time. But wanted to show you, there it is. I'm getting the station identification from the local repeater that I have it tuned to. The biggest challenge was getting the programming. I'm gonna have to learn some of those tricks, but I'm happy with how it looks, and we'll see how I like it over time and how everybody thinks I sound on it. But for now, I'm really excited to try this out. Again, this is the Vero Telecom radio, the VR6600 Pro, with the Bluetooth and APRS module. Oh, and the GPS antenna is right here. So, clear view of the sky. All right, that is it. Be sure to subscribe to the 4x4 podcast at the4x4podcast.com. And there I'll be discussing the functions of this radio and how I use that as a tool for everything off-roading. Up here in Alaska and across the nation, around the world. All right, that is it for now. Thanks for watching.